Hollywood badly misidentified what the ideological and political landscape of America would look like. And perhaps no studio outside of Star Wars failed so miserably as Marvel. It's the reason that the MCU and Disney Plus shows featuring Marvel characters is falling apart. But we're here to tell you there's one part of Marvel that's actually working, and it might actually bring Kevin Feige back to the MCU middle. Hello, folks. Welcome back to the channel that says each and every day you're not little. You matter. You matter a bunch, and you can make the world a better place. Today, we're talking about how audiences at large are making Marvel better, bringing it back to the sensible center where money can be made by saying stay away from the ultra woke and MCU nonsense you've been presenting to us now for years. Folks, as we get ready to dive into today's content, consider clicking the like button. Also, if you enjoy this sort of thing, perhaps go check out the Patreon where we have even more exclusives. It's www.patreon.com/WDW Pro. We'd love to have you over there where we go deeper than we sometimes can right here. But we love YouTube as well, and we can't wait to bring you a video we love. It's here, well, right now. As we have been talking about for a while now, the Hollywood intelligentsia, the wise ones, they thought that the American cultural landscape was going to be vastly different than it is. And that is including, by the way, Marvel. Perhaps no bigger crew out there that missed it by so much than Marvel and the MCU. You could argue Star Wars, you could argue perhaps Disney Animation, but entertainment, and particularly Disney, was building towards an audience that does not exist. And that is why you're getting content like this. Out of Sportskeeda, but we won't stay here long because this is just to set up the table. It says, what if season 3, episode 4 ending explained? Who is the child of Darcy and Howard the Duck? By Mansi Bajpai. In a cartoon, they had Darcy and Howard the Duck get together, have some fun. Then she laid an egg. And what hatched from the egg? Well, folks, if you want,
girl boss.
That's right. We're going to scroll down here. Look, a little SJW popped out of that egg. A little girl boss was the result of that egg, and she is not over easy. Okay. Now we won't stay there though. We've covered that in the past. We won't stay there. Because take a look at this. Another thing that we've covered in the past, but we want to mesh this all together. There's a point here. The Fantastic Four, First Step's female Silver Surfer isn't that unusual. This is out of Game Rant. They're trying to defend what's going to definitely not be a win. And that is Disney, again, swapping out their icons, their archons, with the mantle strategy that we thought was going away once Alonzo was out. This by Tom Chapman. Says, the Fantastic Four, First Steps brings Marvel's first family to the MCU in 2025 with an all-star cast. Pedro Pascal takes on the main role of Reed Richards with Julia Garner as the Silver Surfer. Now, I know that, Jonas, you love the Silver Surfer. You're not real happy about this, but Marvel thought there were very few of you and very many more of other peeps who all they wanted was a very fully clothed Silver Surfer girl.
The thing is about Shalabal Silver Surfer. The same thing is said about whatever thing they're going to do with Spider-Man and the Spider-Man and the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, which they have retooled again. They will take the excuse of having any comic book that features this. They'll take, Spider-Man issue 7,382 part 2 as an example of, see, it happened in the comic books, therefore we're fine. So the Shalabal Silver Surfer, they're starting with something that happened decades after the introduction of the Silver Surfer as their excuse to do the thing that they want to do. I'm reminded of the scene in Analyze That where, what is his name? Jelly, the guy who usually plays the mob boss, that is dangling the guy over the edge of the roof over there. And Robert De Niro says, hey, pull him back up. And he drops him. He goes, oh, I thought you said let him down. He says, you heard what you wanted to hear. You got me there. They are hearing what they want to hear when they see a Shalabal comic, a Shalabal Silver Surfer comic here. They are going to do what they want to do, and they're looking for any excuse to do it. So this excuse of saying it happened one time. Everybody knows what that is.
Well, what if I told you that there is one Marvel entity, one part of Marvel that's actually doing well? What if I told you that, Jonas?
And interesting.
What if I told you that the one area that Marvel is doing well in, it's not even by Marvel?
Oh, I think I know what it is now. Go ahead.
Take a look at this, folks. It turns out that Marvel Rivals, not made by Marvel, but licensing with Marvel, they know what you want. You want the icons. You don't want Zilver Surfette. You don't want girl boss babies born from Howard the Duck eggs with Darcy. No, instead, you want Jean Grey, and you want her to be Ginger Jean Grey. You want Emma Frost, and you don't want her original design to be lost. This is out of Esports Illustrated. It's by Gabby DeCina. Marvel Rivals leaks have revealed upcoming heroes Emma Frost and Jean Grey's roles. Let's explore. Here's what it says. As iconic X-Men members, mutants Emma Frost and Jean Grey are two of Marvel's most famous heroes. The two have captured fans' hearts with their fascinating storylines and unique powers, and will reportedly arrive in Marvel Rivals in 2025 with fresh in-game abilities and designs. Goes on to talk about who these characters are, and guess what? They are going to be designed exactly as you wish them to be, looking just like they should, with the abilities just like as you would have them. Emma Frost will be a Vanguard. That means a tank for those of you who play MMOs or hero shooters. And Jean Grey will be a duelist, and that means, well, she's an attacker. She's, we'll leave that. She's offensive, right? She's not a healer as many had anticipated, expected. And there is anticipation, there is an expectation that Jean Grey will have a resurrection ability where she comes back as a phoenix after you kill her. That is absolutely beautiful. You know what else is beautiful, folks? It is indeed beautiful to find out that somebody out there knows how to leave Marvel to a better place. And what is that better place to be? Well, the better place to be for Marvel is having characters who are iconic and who are as you know them, as you love them. And Marvel Rivals might actually be the signal that sends the MCU and the rest of Marvel back to something you all love, something back to that which wins, because it begins with the things you want to see. Panel, what say you? Is Marvel Rivals an indication that we're done with what Marvel was as it wins the video game industry?
I think that it's very possible. I mean, I think you can, like I said recently, you can only lose money for so long before you start having to take notes, especially when things are succeeding. It's not like when Marvel couldn't get a hit to save its life, so they had nothing to point to. And you were starting to get these rhetorics that were like, oh, people just don't go to the movies anymore. Well, we saw Deadpool, we saw Inside Out 2, we saw all this stuff, and we understand the reason why people liked Inside Out 2, the reason why people liked Deadpool and Wolverine was because they didn't go into all of this stuff. There were no, duck human hybrid babies being born. So maybe...
Oh, come on, Marvin. They did it with Leah Thompson. It's no different. What makes it different, Marvin?
Jonas had the greatest point about this the other day. I'll let him make it if he wants to make it. But the we're at a point.
I can take
go ahead,
that.
Jonas.
Okay. So you can look at things that happened in the past, and you've got your Jessica Rabbits and Roger Rabbits out there where everyone goes, "Aha, that's a funny joke." But when it starts to get into this area where you get a little bit closer to what people are actually, we're a little bit more aware of the unusual tastes of the internet, some of the darker tastes of the internet, and people dressing up as cartoon characters and trying to attract other people based off of dressing up like a cartoon character. So the closer that reality gets to the idea of a Howard the Duck and lady getting together, it rings a little bit different in the context of reality, which is why, I brought up the idea of the episode of the 1994, I want to say Fantastic Four series, where it resembles something that happened on the 11th of September in 2001. And so they banned that episode because it happened to resemble something that was a little close to reality. So when Howard the Duck and a girl get together, it starts to remind people of the people who will not stop talking on the internet about their attraction to animated characters. So it rings a little bit different with full knowledge of what the world is like.
Now, I want to go to culture for a minute. Culture, this is literally the only thing working for Marvel. If we look at Thunderdolts, we look at not Captain America 4, we look at the Silver Surfette and the Unfantastic Four, we look at the Disney Plus shows, if there are any coming out this year. There is nothing. The comics, well, those have been dead for years. There is literally nothing working for Marvel except this. And this is one of the biggest games on the planet. It has destroyed Overwatch. Like, that's gone.
Yeah.
No one's playing Overwatch. This game has taken over. I mean, Fortnite still has more players,
Right.
and that's getting close to it. And how did they win? By giving players, by giving fans the Marvel characters that they want. They didn't argue with them. They didn't say, oh, well, you're going to get Wolverine, but Wolverine's going to be a girl, and Wolverine's going to be, bloody, 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 blah. Oh, and Wolverine also is attracted to squirrels. Not Squirrel Girl. That's a different thing.
Isn't it strange or peculiar or whatnot that the CCP led game? I think this is Tencent, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
It's NetEase. It's NetEase.
Oh, NetEase. Okay, NetEase. Yeah, the CCP driven game company is more capitalist than Disney is, because they cater to an audience who's going to actually spend money on something. And mind you, there is enormous amounts of financial opportunity here for NetEase and through them Disney. Disney gave this gaming license, sure, over to China, which again I have trouble with. But in this particular instance, it's irony, maybe, that it's the communists that are more capitalist than Disney. That's the lesson I'm taking away from this. And as that game place guy here with the other that game place guy down there, I can and of course Marvin, who's major writer for that game place. I will say that this needs to be a conversation that we have often. Why are Chinese gaming companies leading the way when it comes to producing in-demand games right now? Aside from the fact that, as you pointed out, Pro, that, well, this is what the gamers want. So we're going to give the gamers what the gamers want. Disney needs to take a lesson in that.
And you know what? I feel like I need to push back a little on the well, it happened in the comics defense. Not every comic book is good.
Yeah.
Not every comic book idea is good. If we get a flatulent Harley Quinn in the movies coming up, and I hear somebody say, well, they did it in the comics.
You don't
Like,
want
that's
smell
not
vision
gonna
with
fly.
chili dog smells like Stitch's Great Escape?
I'm just,
Oh my God.
I'll tell you, I'm just respecting the fact that this is animalistic Wolverine, which the movies have still not really done. Although I guess there was a joke in Deadpool and Wolverine about comics accurate Wolverine in there.
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah, but I mean, early on, I think in the early Fox versions of the X-Men, they did let him be a little more animal.
Oh, except that they made him 6 foot tall, buff, and handsome. Yeah.
Hang
Okay.
on.
Yeah.
Hang on. You're telling me that people want animalistic, brutal Wolverine like in Marvel Rivals, which is what, and they don't want Howard the Duck and Darcy giving birth to a hatched SJW baby, a girl boss baby. That
Jonas just is rooting for the homunculus at this point.
I am. I want to see a Wolverine that is not meant to bring in the lady crowd. And then you'll find out that there's a fan base for him after the fact. It's never been tried. Never been tried.
The original Bob Hoskins casting would have been, I would have loved to have seen that.
He's dead.
My dream casting.
No,
for
I know
Wolverine
he is
used
now,
to
but
be,
that would have been cool.
My dream casting for Wolverine used to be Jackie Earle Haley from Watchmen, because he's short, he's ugly, and he can be, he could bulk him up a little bit, and he would have been perfect.
Hey, he was really good in Bad News Bears. What is your problem, dude?
I like him.
But panel, think about this for a minute. What Marvel, so Disney has Marvel in the cinematic universe, the comics, the TV shows. Everybody under Feige thought that you wanted the stuff like Howard the Duck giving birth to a girl boss baby. They thought you wanted the Silver Surfette. They thought that you wanted She-Hulk. They thought that you wanted all of those things. And that was the landscape of consumers that they were preparing for. And that means that probably we have 2 or 3 more years of pipeline of that, when in reality, people clearly just wanted the iconic legends of Marvel as they have been since the 70s, 80s, 90s, etc. That's how far off the mark Marvel was. And as a result, literally the only thing working for them is a licensed video game product that got it right, that knew what consumers wanted somehow, despite not even being stationed in the same culture as the consumers. Ron?
Is there even one person watching? I can't even think of the name of the stupid show.
What if
the Marvel?
Yeah,
What it should be just WTF is what it should be. Marvel WTF. I tried to watch some of season 2 because I liked a lot of season 1. And I think I got through a couple episodes of season 2 and I said, what the heck are they doing? I stopped. I completely have no interest in that whatsoever. The only Marvel property coming up that I actually have interest in is Daredevil, Born Again. And I am so skeptical that they're going to get it right. And please don't do to Daredevil what they did with him in She-Hulk, because that was awful. Horrible treatment for the actor, for the character, for everything. And I'm like, if they screw up Daredevil Born Again, I'm probably completely done with Marvel. It's just it's because it's so sad.
Except for Marvel Rivals. Ron, you can join us. We'll form a team. We'll go all the way up to the highest. We'll be grandmasters together. You and me.
That would be good. I would do that. The only okay, you're gonna hate me for this, but the only Marvel's game that I play right now is Contest of Champions. It's a weird thing, but
at least Marvel versus Capcom. But folks, what else could go wrong for Marvel? Well, they could continue trying what they're trying to do, and it's getting really late in the game for them to fix Avengers. Good news for all of the MCU. Well, at least they've got a few weeks left until Captain America 4 Brave New World comes out. They can keep reshooting that all the way until February, and I have no doubt that's exactly what they'll have to do, because they, Marvel, and largely the rest of the Hollywood industry, they had no idea that America was going to do what it has done, and they misjudged, based on their coastal elite status, completely misjudged where consumers would be. It's always sad when one of these video ends, and yet it is the beginning of the wait for the next one to land. 4 times a day right here on the Pro Channel. And by the way, there's plenty more on our partner channels, That Park Place, That Pod Place, That Game Place, and go check out the original music we have on stations like Vacation Radio. We'd love to have you, love to entertain you. At least we'll do a better job than some of the current entertainment companies. Folks, like, share, subscribe, and you know what? Drop a comment right on down below. Share this out anywhere you go on social media. And until the next time, we have the honor, the pleasure of getting to spend time with you when you choose to invite us into your day to add the value that we hope to bring your way. We ask that you keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.